Bunny rabbits are some of the cutest animals going. They're fluffy, cute, despite them being a pest if you're a gardener. At the end of the day, they just like your carrots. So yeah, they may be cute, but are they strong enough to beat Pokemon Sword and Shield with added extra rules just to make things harder? Well, let's find out. So to start off, I create probably the best character I could have named for this video, Wallace.
I'm just crackers about cheese.
I mean, I kinda had to. He does become a rabbit after all. Anywho, I grab my bag, mess with my hair, I'm obviously playing as a younger Wallace, and head down towards the town centre. From there, I can meet up with Hop and his brother, who just so happens to be the champion of the region. Anywho, we set back to the house to choose our starter, and for the first time in a long time, we're starting with an official starter. This little fire bunny with a bow tie. I love this Pokemon so much, and because he's a football rabbit, I named him Oswald from Disney and Espen. And for the rest of the evening, Hop enjoys his mixed grill, and I enjoy some cheese. But the next morning, we have got a challenge ahead of us. It's a 2v1 against Hop, but we persevere, tackling the white sheep down, leaving the other starter a cheeky monkey. But we get the burn, he falls to a second ember, and that's all she wrote. Though we still have yet to impress him, it's time to grab a Pokédex, and as we set off, I feel... Wallace! Did you hear that just now? I heard the cheese time alarm. Yeah, so the new slogan for Anti-Pesto now being protecting your veg from pests and saving your farm animals, I rush into the slumbering world, defeating loads of pests to protect the plants, until I get to this one big sheepdog with armor and ghost-like powers. Maybe we forgot the crackers. With a Scaldering later on and a further telling off from my mother, I am entrusted to head over to the professor's house to be able to grab a Pokédex and become a master of Pokemon in addition to being an inventor. Eventually we arrive at the professor's house, and she gives us the opportunity to prove to Leon we are capable at being Pokemon trainers ourselves. The problem is, it's now a 3v1 against Hop. Without any sign of bunny rabbits, I don't know if this is gonna work. Well, that was easy. The next morning, I grab my Dynamax band, ready to sign up for the gym challenge. But before we chase Hop to the train station, I begin my outfit spree. This being the best I could have got so far, before grabbing the train. While we're traveling, if you do enjoy my videos, it will mean the world to me just to double check to see if you're subscribed. It takes only a second to tap that red button, and you can change your mind at any point. We do hit a roadblock in the way, and we get stuck at the wild area. However, this is perfect because in the wild area, I can grab our second rabbit, Bunnelby, which funnily enough is my first time ever using this Pokemon. I call him Hutch and spend a little bit of time to grind some Dynamax candies and technical records. Eventually, I arrive into the industrious city, Motorstoke, for the start of the gym challenge. I got my hair sorted from Grommet's first birthday before heading in to choose my uniform number, settling in on number 2, because Wallace and Grommet. But also the Hop to It number plate on their van. I also knocked some easy wins against Team Yell in the hotel lobby, well, because they were rude. Then, yeah, again, I probably was rude to them. The next morning, the ceremony is held and the challenge begins to become the best bunny Pokemon trainer and eventually be king of the pests. And to start things off, I'll pick on Hop with my 2 bunnies and give Hutch a little bit of screen time, but this Wooloo kept growling and reducing my attack. It made attacking very challenging. So Oswald steps in to help thanks to a critical hit and takes it down. From there, I clean up with some fire, and Oswald is first to evolve into Raboot as I slowly make haste towards the western Galar mines. Eventually, deep in the mines, I bump into this pink man, and a sad little man at that. He may have the bigger team, though it was no match for Hutch, and Payback's doing a lot of damage. Until this little Barbie doll just hangs on and finishes our little Hutch. Oswald comes back out to the rescue to finish the doll as well as his magician. Sweet! Seeing daylight again, I get ran over by the sheep, chase a dog, look at a field, and now it's time to take my footing into the grass-type gym. And whilst I'm doing this challenge, Hutch has his growth spurt from Cheese and evolves to Diggersby. I think with that said and done, I think it's time to battle against Clarkson's younger self, Milo. He starts with Gossifleur against our Fire Rabbit, boosting our speed with hard flame charges. This leaves the Eldegoss, and I decide to play it safe and Dynamax. Hit the Max Flare to set the sun and burn the plant to the ground. That's badge number 1, done and dusted, easy peasy, lemon squeezy. But I don't think the next challenge is going to be easy. Both my Pokemon are weak for the next gym, so I go on the hunt for our next squad member, Eevee. But this one is a bit of a funny one. Obviously, it's definitely not rabbit looking, but it's a hybrid between cats and dogs and foxes and rabbits. But I spend a lot of time with our newest encounter called Brer Rabbit, playing with a cat, bunny toy, and feed it carrot curry. When we carry on through Route 5, beat up Team Yellgrunt, and also beat Hop, I then try to get as many EVs and friendship points as possible. So Brer Rabbit evolves into, well, an actual rabbit with rabbit ears. With ribbons. And with it now learning Magical Leaf, this is going to be my best bet to challenge who I'm going to meet next. Nessa, the Ace of Waves. Nah, I prefer Lady Tottington. The gym is open to take her on, and after fixing the flooding issues within the gym, it was time to take her on. It was Goldeen against Oswald first, hitting double kicks for decent damage as it goes for agility. Water pulses hit hard, but we push through and take down the first fish. Up next was Arracuda, survive a quick attack on just 4 HP before a combination of double kick and quick attack gets it down to a quarter. We may go down, but Hutch being bulky gets easy revenge with payback. This leaves Dreadnought, which we don't outspeed, and the Geyser puts us literally on the brink of death. 1 HP to be exact. Mudshot slows it down, but with Swift Swim active, it's all up to Brer Rabbit to finish the job, but it goes for Max Darkness surprisingly, so this gives us the clear to take it down with a quad overgrowth and gives us an easy victory. Nice. I step outside and get invited for some fish food and some Wensleydale cheese, and with the grass and water gyms done, it's time for our final starter elemental gym, Fire. Thankfully, I'm a little more confident with it. Because of my fire type, as well as Hotch being super effective, after the meal, Hop intervenes and pushes through the eastern mines, so to follow the human rabbit we do, Bead gets swooped, and I cause havoc in the caves, beating up Team Yell 2. Eventually we meet Kabu, and is eager to fight, so I head back to the hotel to rest up, or to drain myself even further. Yeah, Marnie wants a scrap, but her Scraggy and Frog wasn't too much, and even her ace can breach through Brer's defenses, even with the flinches. It's safe to say I am ready for the challenge ahead. This one is a catching challenge against the other trainers. Sure, I can just beat them up, but Anti-Pesto has got to do Anti-Pesto bits. So the pests are removed, and now it's a showdown against Kabu. Ninetales starts against Oswald, taking petty embers as we do decent damage with a couple of kicks. We slowly but surely take the fox out. Next was his dog, and intimidates, so I need to switch out. With an idea in mind, I switch out to Brer Rabbit on agility. That could have gone better. However, when we switch back, we are immune to the Will-O-Wisp, and thus we are able to take a couple more kicks before going down the bites. We played well. Just to stall, Brer returns to the field, tanking the flamethrower rather well and hitting 2 Shadow Balls to take it out. This leaves his Center Scorch, and without the special defense drop, we go down, leaving our big Hotch to deal with the threat. Our tank gets a growth spurt and slows the Centipede down, but his Gigantamax turns end, and one more strike just falls short. We may survive the bug bite, though the fire spin damage was sadly too much, and we get a very close but unfortunate loss. On the next attempt, everything went exactly the same, and thanks to Arcanine missing 1 Will-O-Wisp, a second one connects but the dog goes down. This basically means our fairy is going in with practically full health, and despite doing little damage, we actually take the attack well enough to survive the burn and the spin combined. So this basically means when Brer Rabbit falls, Hotch only has to deal with him for 1 more G-Max turn. So he grows big and strikes once more, and after dealing with some nasty bug bites, it finally goes down. That was the win we needed. So it's time for the second leg of the gym challenge journey, and time to leave Motorsoak well once and for all. After B challenges hop to a rather unfriendly match, my next stop lies elsewhere. I return to Wedgehurst and encounter a rather strange Pokemon and trainer. And you know me, when I have a task to do, I just go out and do it. Catch the Slowpoke to release it literally a second later, followed by catching up to Avery, the strange psychic user he is, and defeat him in a rather easy battle. The rest of the bunnies we're going to find are all going to be here in the Isle of Armor. In addition, the level cap jumps up quite a bit, so to give us extra, I decided to do a few tasks here on the island, such as signing up for the dojo. I'm pleased as cheese you could join us. Cheese?
Cheese.
Cheese to meet you! Okay, that's pathetic. From here, I beat up Mustard's team with ease, defeat the very fast Slowpoke, and go mushroom picking for the max mushrooms, and beat Avery once more to win to keep the mushrooms and not get mugged. We won't be able to use them just yet, but for now we have them, as well as the EXP charm. We should be able to fly through the rest of the challenge now. I bump into Rose once more and reveals his ultimate plan for energy. But look, all I want is a plan for unlimited cheese and to build the ultimate lunar army for all elite trainers. Once I proposed my idea and he liked it, I'm off on a history lesson at the vault with Raihan and Sonia, and then straight back out there to Route 6. Team Yell once again were causing a ruckus, but with Hutch's digging abilities, we were able to absolutely smash right past, and even Judy gets her debut against one big cat. With that, Team Yell scarpers and the snake wakes up, allowing us to pass into the cliffs. Opal gives us some intel, but not much to really be bothered, but I'll be up against you soon. I climb through and battle all the way to the next destination, Stowe on side, where my biggest and most challenging challenge awaits. Hop. Yeah, it was alright. So, with all obstacles out the way, it's time for the next gym, and the challenge is pretty simple, but with two normal types with not so good moves, this could be challenging. Alistair's Yamask is up against Brer Rabbit, with a Hex doing literally nothing. Two Shadow Balls from my evolution takes it down. Mimikyu is next and has a dangerous attack, but once the disguise was destroyed, I recover with Draining Kiss, taking out the Voodoo Doll. Cursor is out and a Shadow Ball gets it to just over half, but unfortunately, Hex is too much for Brer. A solid effort. I let Oswald out to play and set up a Flame Charge, and then... Ah! Oh my god! That was too close! So with us in Blaze range, I get the knockout leaving Gengar, but now with our speed set, I am able to waste the Gigantamax turns by hitting one more Blaze Flame Charge and doing decent damage. Maxu's increases the special attack though, so I have to be careful. I play it safe and take Max Darkness very well before digging, meaning the third attack was pointless, and I can safely Dynamax for a good health boost, but it manages to land the Hypnosis. We get to the Brink of Death, however, and manage to wake up with one more payback. That was honestly too close. I know I had Judy left, but she had no moves to hit. On the plus side, Oswald evolves to its final form, Cinderace, and he's not done yet. Because once I left the gym and well rush over to Bede causing havoc, I show the world whose boss are getting rid of pests, him being one of them. He gets the boot, Sonia makes a discovery, and I head back to the Isle of Armor to have my G-Max upgrade. On top of that, Judy evolves to Lopunny. With that said, I venture further into the forest, ready to tackle the next part of the gym challenge upon arriving at Ballon Lee. This gym consists with auditions against other fairy-type Pokemon to become the new fairy leader, and that's exactly what I do. I face her in the middle of the stadium, and as she sends out Galarian wheezing, Hutch is ready to play. Until I realized it has Levitate. So instead, I send out my own fairy with two Shadow Balls taking it out, though not without getting poisoned, and then Togekiss steps into the field, and Air Slash couldn't just do 3 more HP damage. The poison takes us out. However, Judy Hops comes out properly for the first time and hits the retaliation, which does quite a lot. Air Slash follows, but we're able to take it out fairly quickly. Marwile is next and intimidates, so I switch out to my ace Oswald, ready for my ace card. We take the crunch as well as the defense drop. However, I throw out my Gigantamax Pokemon of my own, raining flames all over her parade of fairies. Marwile falls and her cake blows up. Chef's kiss. Now it was at this very moment where I actually managed to get Fairy Escort out of the creepy forest back to civilization, where everyone is pretty much addicted to tea and crumpets and cheese, otherwise known as my home country. And upon returning, Bede is away with the fairies, so I just let him crack on with what he needs to do and simply get on moving. From regular earthquakes at the stadium to beating Hop's new team fresh off the grill. However, the problem I'm now having is the leveling. So I think it's time we grab a new hopping friend, say hello to Meryl called Thumper. Seriously? It's a Disney bunny! Anyway, Skippy it is. And he definitely skips bicep days, seeing as its modest nature and thick fat. So I know this build is going to be dreadful. I evolve him to a Zoom Arrow and try my best with a moveset that will actually get us something before making my way up through the castle ruins and eventually arriving in Sirchester. Hob loses this gym, so maybe we'll be the ones to take this on. Yeah, this was not fun. But eventually I arrive at the gym leader's lair, so with the icebreaker activity in mind, I literally send out Oswald for a complete thrashing. Yeah, Frostmoth falls to a single and quad effective Pyro Ball, ouch, but he doesn't stop there because the Ice Gorilla also says bye-bye. With that said and done, it's time for my cue. I Gigantamax rather early with a Max Knuckle. Not only this raises my attack, but this busts the disguise, allowing me to go all out on the penguin, leaving a big Scottish monster. That also Gigantamaxes. But thanks to the boosted attack, a huge fireball to its neck does a lot of damage. Despite that not being enough and nearly get taken out by a geyser, one final Pyro Ball gets it in the red and takes out Oswald. Judy comes out to finish with one simple retaliation and the 6th badge is ours for grabs. That was an insanely fun fight. After the victory, Sonia wants to celebrate my win and Bob's your uncle alongside with Hop. Wait, hold on! What is this? Well, I'd say the finest cheese and crackers. Don't confuse me! So with us all fed and done, Hop wants to wrestle a bear, and it showed when he absolutely crushed Hotch, taking him out. But once Judy came out for some screen time, she was able to retaliate and equalize the match, forcing out Rillaboom. So Oswald switches in for a quick Pyro Ball, and from there, absolutely decimated the sea urchin and caused a huge dent in Snorlax, with Judy retaliating once more to finish it off. This, however, left this dangerous threat against the rest of the squad, Corviknight with the steel typing. I ideally needed Oswald kicking, but its attack dropped to -6 thanks to Charm, plus stalling with the hail. Skippy is able to fight comfortably, and a couple of surfs gives us the victory. Our typings might be a problem later on, but for now, it'll be fine. With a clear mind for Hop, I let him take on the Ice Gym again, whilst our next stop lies in Spikemouth. And to get there, it's to cross the bay, and toss Team Yell in the ocean as you do. The journey is rough and cold, but I eventually arrive at the gym that's close to the public. The copper is investigating it rather poorly, so I think it's best to take matters into my own hands, including a battle with Marnie. And unlike Hop, Marnie doesn't have a lot of coverage against us. Once she is taken care of, it's just Team Yell grunts I have to battle within their lair. Once they're out the way, Piers is all mine. And I think I've got the strat to back me with. Scrafty is against Brer Rabbit and a pointless Intimidate later alongside with Fake Out, Draining Kiss as an Oko, and Potzers in a comfortable lead. Next was Malawar, and again, Draining Kiss is a great hitter alongside Recovery. The squid goes down. His Ace Obstagoon appears, and ineffective Throat Drops don't hurt much, whereas Draining Kisses hurt a lot. Getting him in the red, and one final switch takes him out, leaving his poisonous skunk with only Toxic. I can safely use my Draining Kiss PP, but I have to switch out to Oswald on Toxic. A final Pyro Ball gives us another simple and easy win. However, I don't think the next challenge will be. I came out of the gym with the ground shaking and Leon running off to find the source of the earthquake. It isn't an earthquake, but Pokemon are Dynamaxing out of nowhere. I catch up to the adults at Hammerlock though once more, we're brushed to one side and told to simply focus on the gym challenge. The problem I have is the majority of my Pokemon are at the cap, so I need to grab one more rabbit. Well, rabbit to be. I catch a Jigglypuff and get some grinding with some max raid battles. I need to be ready for the next challenges that lie for us next, and once I'm ready, I find a Moonstone so I can evolve Clover to Wigglytuff, which is also our final rabbit for the challenge. I also need to find some technical records and technical moves to finish the builds. So whilst I do that, let me know down below in the comments which rabbit Pokemon is your favourite. And a huge thank you for those who are watching this far. I really, really appreciate it. However, once I'm ready, it's time to take on the last gym. This is also the only gym that takes place in double battle form, and with my Pokemon close to leveling up above the cap, it means I'm only taking 2 rabbits for the mission, Clover and Judy. It was actually quite tough considering the fact Judy won't have any good moves until late game, but we move. Once the test was passed, I took on Raihan with Skippy, Hotch, Brer and Oswald in that order ready to battle. He leads with Flygon and Gigalith, and a huge Thunder Punch does quite a bit on our Aqua Rabbit, though we hold on. And even take a second one before a combination of Surf and Ice Beam takes out the Flygon and breaches Gigalith's defenses. Again, Body Press hurts Hotch, but we manage to outlive the Rock Monster, leaving a weakened Snake and a big Gigantamax house. It outspeeds and finishes off Skippy, but Hotch comes out from the ground and hits for chip damage. Oswald comes out early and also grows big, boosted our attack with Max Knuckle, before also taking a huge rock fall. Once again, Hotch digs, and yet another rock fall actually equalizes the match for him. It's even worse when a Body Press takes out Hotch, but Brer gets the Draining Kiss knockout and recover the stealth rock damage. One more glare isn't great for us, and he begins to stall. He even gets the flinch from Fire Fang! Thankfully, Paralysis did not kick in once, and we were able to fight another Fire Fang flinch. Just managed to take it out with Magical Leaf and secure our final badge for the gym challenge. That might have just been the hardest gym battle of the game, and yet we had the upper hand for type matchups. However, we come on top, Sonia gets her lab coat, and all as well. And even with Hop back in business, we grab tickets to route number 10. This isn't going to be fun. Again, due to the EXP charm we got earlier on, this is going to be a little tougher. And it's technically Victory Road here, so it's as tough as it's going to get. Thankfully, we managed to get by just okay and arrive into Wyndham. I also managed to finish my luck, as well as get the Elemental Punch TMs to finally give Judy some moves. With that done, I sign up for the semi-finals. This is going to get rough at point... Oh, well, this will be easy. A team of Dark types against a team of Fairies. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Hop, on the other hand, can be tough if not careful, and my team are due to overlevel. So it's Dub Wool against Judy, and Drain Punches does a huge amount of damage thanks to a crit, but with the Cotton Guard ability, his defenses are just too high. I still manage to get a few punches in, mainly due to friendship, but do eventually fall. Clover comes out and Tri-Attack gets us the knockout, but at what cost? Pinch Urchin, however, is next and does get the knockout. With Hotch coming in for a revenge earthquake, this battle is scrappy, and damage is being done to the big bear before 2 hammer arms get the best of us. We may go down, but I send my main squad leader, and Oswald Gigantamaxes for the Max Knuckle attack boost. Obviously, this takes down the Snorlax, as well as his Steel Raven Knight. This leaves Donkey Kong, and yep, he incinerated to a crisp. Nice. As soon as I arrived back at the hotel, there was no signs of Leon after a long time. Hob has a bit of a strop, and as Piers knows his whereabouts, it's off to Rose Tower with a couple of battles to the top. Despite the Steely's strong against fairies, I showed a Marco Cosmos just who is boss. As soon as we get to the top, Oleana is waiting for a bit of a thrashing, though the thrashing is for her, but she doesn't know that. Frostlass melts away to a Pyro Ball, and when Milotic comes out, I switch out to Brer Rabbit to tank the Surf, followed by Magical Leaps until the Surfs get too much. Hodge is out for T-Punches. This is obviously a big risk, but we just about tank the Surf before we manage to get it out. Sarina is next, and I stay in to hit a hard bounce before going down to a boosted Acrobatics. Again, big risk, but Skippy gets attracted. If I was a Pokemon, I wouldn't blame him. I switch again to Clover to then fall to another Acrobatics. Okay, enough games. I Gigantamax Oswald and Max Airstream to simply boost my speed. Then from there, Max Mindstorm the Salamander so that falls, leaving her trash. Well, I put the trash where it belongs. Into the bin. Leon gets rescued, and you know what that means. The Champion Finals is a go. The next evening, I joined alongside the other gym leaders ready to take on the final matches, as well as Bees, who is supposed to be the new fairy leader, but I let my fairy bunnies work against his, because his Mawile intimidates my Clover, but competitive kicks in, so it basically sets me up for battle. Iron Head hurts. A lot. but Flamethrower gives us the early lead, and that was instantly lost when God of War retaliates with Psychic. That went a lot better in my head. Regardless, Brer Rabbit is out for Shadow Balls, throwing backwards and forwards until that's down and out. Rapidash lands a critical hit and takes Brer down. Judy retaliates with, well, retaliates, and a second hit takes him out. There remains his Wizard Fairy who wrecks her hat, and just to stall out the turns, I bounce and also get the paralysis. So I'm able to fully stall out the Dynamax turns. When Judy goes down, this gives Hutch the clear to take it out with a simple Earthquake. I didn't even add to Dynamax and still managed to win that. So let's move on to the real matches. First up is Nessa and it's Golisopod against Skippy, and first impressions wasn't used. In fact, we comfortably take the Shadow Claws and heal with Draining Kisses before it goes down to half. I bounce and miss. Not what I wanted. I get the hit on the next go and did nowhere near as much as I thought. But when Barraskewda swaps out for emergency exit, I'm able to recover my HP once more. Stalling and withering down her team, it is a sound plan for the moment, and a plan that works in my favour, eventually taking it down. Next was Pelipper, and with the rain up, I hit harder with Surf, and thanks to a crit, we were able to nearly take it down. Until it goes for Roost. In fact, the Pelipper simply stalls out, and I've run out of PP for Draining Kiss. I switch out to Judy on, you guessed it, another Roost. Then take the Air Slash before a Thunder Punch gets it in the red. The Tailwind also petered out, so the bird finally falls. The Sea King follows, and I just hang on after first impressions to take down the Bog. This leaves her Dreadnought, which now Gigantamaxes, and in an attempt to stall, I Drain Punch for recovery, but he is too strong in this form. This is risky, but Hutch is out to hit one huge Earthquake, followed by taking critical Stone Surge to the ears. But this means Brer Rabbit can finish with a quad effective Magical Leaf to give us the win. Next was Alistair the Ghost Whisperer. Skippy is benched for this one, and Clover is against Dusknoir. T-Punches hurt our Rabbit, but we were able to recover slowly, and when he disables, Gyro Ball does nothing, despite us being slower and eventually fall into the Ghost. But Brer Rabbit gets the easy retaliation. Chandelure is next, and we exchange Shadow Balls, but ours hurt much more, and down the light goes, with Poltergeist to follow suit. At this point, we're on the brink of death with 5 HP to his name, and a final huge Shadow Ball does a lot before we eventually fall. But a perfect opportunity arises for Hutch to hit a hard Earthquake, and just fall short. Absolute shambles. However, on the next go, he disappears into darkness, leaving a Gigantamax Gengar with a big mouth. Another Earthquake does a lot, but with it outspeeded, it takes us out. With it low, Oswald finishes with a Max Mindstorm, and that's his win number 2. The last battle with Raihan just so happens to be the one that I worry about the most. Torkoal is against Oswald, and I bounce to attempt the paralysis, but also to stall out the sunlight just in case. But when I switch into Hop to ignore the yawn, Body Press and Solar Beam kills me off. So I switch to Oswald and then to Skippy, and then have to switch again until Skippy eventually kills it off after full restore. Next was Goodra, and I hit the freeze on the Ice Beam, so I get the clear to hit hard until he falls out and uses Thunder. Not good. I have to switch out again to Oswald, tank another Thunder, and thankfully Zen Headbutt is enough to take it down. Flygon comes out, and expecting Earthquake, I have to let Skippy go, which is annoying as I needed him, but I need my other squad. It's okay because Brer Rabbit manages to get the one-hit Moonblast. Turtonator throws by changing the weather so we can easily take him down. This leaves Duraludon, and I have to stall out. But as I do, it builds defense and attack. It's just a 1v1, and honestly, I'm screwed. I G-Max and hit the Max Fireball, outspeeding. Stone Edge literally puts us on the brink of death, and so one more Fireball was just enough to get us the win. Oh my god, I did not deserve that win in the slightest. So I prep myself to take on the champion, ready my Pokeballs, and then boom, it's done, dusted. The ground shakes, and it's a nightmare into reality. Rose betrayed the Galarian people. So I rush back into the slumbering world with Hop looking for the answers. But all I find in the retreat and deep in the woods was a rusted sword and shield. Maybe they'll help? I don't know. Anyway, Mr. Rose, you are a very naughty man, and I'm going to yeet you. Yeah, one Steely burnt to a crisp. Then on Clinklang, I build up my attack with Max Knuckle. I think it's more important. So I can hit huge pyro balls on the Steel Cat and leaving a Gigantamax Elephant, but my boosted pyro balls miss. Okay, great. I got cocky. Now I'm screwed. Hotch is out, and Earthquakes do quite a bit, thankfully, but we fall on his last Gigantamax turn. But the push has been achieved, and he's downsized. Drain Punches be enough to take it down and get him in custody. But it's not over yet. I have one man-made dragon to take care of, and with Leon knocked out, it's time for payback. Though even with half of my squad being fairies, we were able to take care of him. He blows up, and everything is in disarray. All that's left to hope for is the sword and the shield, and then all of a sudden, just like magic, 2 dogs spawn to drive the threat away. So with 2 sheepdogs and 2 pests, we all work together and save the Galar region from certain Dynamax black hole death. Only one task remains. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the final match against the champion himself, Leon. Last guesses in the comments if you think we can beat this. I think I might be pushing it a bit much, but we shall see. Aegislash is up first against Brer Rabbit, and it goes for King Shield on turn 1, but I managed to get a critical hit in its shield stance. Flash Cannon, however, dents through too. And as he full restores, a second Shadow Ball gives us an early lead. I need a big push, and it's just my luck. Haxorus comes out and actually connects the Iron Tail. And that's when I realized I completely soft-locked myself. I have no PP at all because I forgot to heal. I've got no recover items before the battle, and I'm at the cap. I generally don't think this is possible, and it's a mistake I have personally made. So yeah, we're back to where we are. Skippy comes out and we take the poison jab well despite the poison, and Draining Kiss gets us some good recovery back. But it's all pointless because he full restores again. I bite the bullet and Dynamax Clover, take out the dinosaur as well as the frog ghost dragon, but by the time Mr. Rhyme enters the field, my turns are already over. We fall to Mr. Rhyme's Psychic, and Oswald, despite leaving it on 1 HP, just couldn't beat him. Judy retaliates, but at this moment, it's already too late. Inteleon comes out and nerfs our attack whilst we get the paralysis on turn 2, and yet we still couldn't knock it out. Again, we're down on the brink of death and it's Charizard remaining. I have to hit hard, so I set on T-Punches, and it didn't even matter. The Lizard outspeeds, and not only that, but he takes out Hotch with no trouble at all. If only I hadn't soft-locked myself, this wouldn't have happened. But it has. And ladies and gentlemen, for the first time, I cannot beat Sword and Shield due to my stupidity. And for that, I'm sorry. Check out these videos on screen right now. And if you haven't done so already, and you want to see me actually beat the game, hit the subscribe button, ding on the notification bell. With that said, thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.